All right, so we've got some really fascinating stuff here about Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And we all know him as the martial arts legend,
Oh,
a
absolutely.
movie star.
Yep.
But today, we're really going to kind of go beyond just those images
Yeah.
and really unpack the depths of who he was
Right.
and what makes his legacy so enduring.
It's so fascinating how Bruce Lee's story, it almost reads like a film itself.
Oh, yeah.
Born in San Francisco in 1940, but really his journey begins in Hong Kong, where he grew up. And it's almost like destiny that he was exposed to martial arts at such a young age.
Yeah, like it makes you think how those early experiences must really shaped him.
Oh, for sure.
Like imagine little Bruce Lee, already competing,
Right.
honing his skills.
Yeah.
Like it must instill such a unique perspective on,
Absolutely. I think that early immersion in martial arts probably went beyond just the physical training. It probably instilled in him like the discipline, the
Right.
focus, the drive that would later define his approach, not just to combat, but to life itself.
Yeah, and then he goes to Hollywood,
Mhm.
a total turning point.
A turning point for sure.
And I remember the first time I saw Enter the Dragon, I was like
Oh, yeah.
electrified.
Yeah.
I mean, he brought a whole new level of energy and just authenticity to the screen.
Enter the Dragon wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like in 1973.
Yeah.
He wasn't just breaking box office records, he was breaking barriers in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And, he became a global superstar at a time when Asian actors were often relegated to very stereotypical roles.
Totally. And it's incredible how he just challenged all those norms
Yeah,
and paved the way for greater representation.
absolutely.
But what's even more impressive is that he wasn't content with just acting.
Yeah.
He was directing,
Mhm.
producing choreographing.
Yeah.
I mean, a true multi-hyphenate before the term even existed.
You're right. It speaks to his vision.
Yeah.
His determination to control his own narrative. He wasn't just a performer.
Right.
He was an artist who wanted to shape the way that his stories were told.
Totally.
And this innovative spirit, that's where Jeet Kune Do comes in, right?
Yeah, exactly. Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee's own martial arts system.
Yeah.
And he essentially flipped the script on traditional martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
And what fascinated me was that core principle, like that no single style is superior.
Right.
It's about adapting and evolving.
Jeet Kune Do encourages fluidity, improvisation, taking what works from different styles and discarding what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like that. It's not about rigidly adhering to a set form,
Right.
but about flowing with your opponent, finding their weaknesses, and capitalizing on them.
It makes it so practical, so effective.
Mm-hmm.
It's a philosophy that extends beyond fighting, almost like a life lesson in adaptability.
For sure.
And speaking of life lessons,
Yeah.
let's talk about that major setback that Bruce Lee faced when he was just 18 years old, that severe back injury.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine the impact that must have on like a young, aspiring martial artist?
It was devastating. To be at the peak of your physical ability and
Yeah.
suddenly face the possibility of never training the same way again.
Right.
It would make anyone question their path.
Oh, absolutely.
But Bruce Lee was not just anyone.
Right.
He didn't let this injury define him instead.
Yeah.
He dove into intense rehabilitation.
Yeah.
He spent hours studying anatomy, physiology.
Wow.
Basically turned this setback into an opportunity for growth.
He didn't just do like physical therapy.
Yeah.
He really delved into understanding the mechanics of the human body.
Yeah,
He was exploring Eastern and Western approaches to healing.
absolutely.
And this experience, although incredibly difficult, fueled his personal and philosophical growth
Oh, yeah.
and led him to develop his own unique approach to training and recovery.
It did.
It's amazing how he turned that adversity into a source of strength.
It is.
But the challenges didn't end there.
Right.
I mean, Hollywood in the 60s and 70s wasn't exactly known for its inclusivity.
No.
And Bruce Lee faced his share of discrimination, constantly struggling to secure the leading roles that he deserved.
Absolutely. Despite his talent and charisma,
Yeah.
Bruce Lee encountered closed doors and limited opportunities simply because of his ethnicity.
Yeah.
His story highlights the systemic issues that were so prevalent in the industry
Yeah.
at that time.
And it's important to remember that context.
Yes.
When we're celebrating his achievement,
Yeah, absolutely.
it makes his perseverance all the more remarkable.
It does.
But you know what always surprises people about Bruce Lee?
What's that?
His deep interest in philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was influenced by thinkers like Confucius and Lao Tzu.
Mhm.
Not exactly what you'd expect from a martial arts icon, right?
And that's what makes him so intriguing.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee wasn't just about physical prowess.
Right.
He was deeply intellectual and philosophical. For instance, the Confucian concept of self-cultivation resonated really deeply with him. He saw martial arts as a path to self-discovery, a way to hone not just the body, but also the mind and spirit.
So it wasn't just about fighting.
Yeah.
It was about personal growth
Yeah.
and self-mastery.
Absolutely.
And he even took that philosophy into his teaching, right? He had his own martial arts school where he shared his knowledge and empowered others.
Absolutely. Bruce Lee was so passionate about teaching.
Yeah.
And his methods were unique. Instead of rigid adherence to a specific style,
Right.
he emphasized individual adaptation and growth.
Yeah.
It's interesting how his school wasn't just about learning techniques. It was about understanding the principles behind those techniques and adapting them to suit your own strengths and weaknesses.
Like he was creating a space for his students to discover their own potential.
Yes.
Just like he did. Which makes me wonder, how do you think his approach continues to impact martial arts training today?
His legacy as an innovator is undeniable.
Yeah.
He challenged the status quo. He pushed the boundaries of what was considered traditional.
Right.
And in doing so, he paved the way for more holistic and adaptable approaches to martial arts training.
Yeah.
You can see his influence in the way that many modern instructors emphasize personalization and adaptability in their teaching.
Absolutely. And his story continues to just captivate audiences even today.
It does.
I mean, documentaries like Be Water
Yeah.
are exploring his personal journey and the challenges he faced. It's exciting to see this continued exploration of his life and work.
It speaks to his enduring relevance.
Yeah.
He's ahead of his time in so many ways, and his story continues to resonate with people because it's ultimately about overcoming obstacles, staying true to yourself, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's interesting, though, with all this forward thinking,
Yeah.
Bruce Lee wasn't without his critics.
Right.
His innovative approach, particularly his critique of traditional martial arts, or ruffle some feathers. He was a disruptor.
Definitely imagine the martial arts landscape at the time.
Yeah.
Deeply rooted in tradition with these established hierarchies and styles.
Right.
And then Bruce Lee comes along advocating for fluidity and adaptability, questioning the rigidity of some of these systems.
Yeah.
It was bound to create some controversy.
It's like he was challenging the very foundation
He was.
of the martial arts world.
Yeah,
But it's important to understand where that criticism came from.
right. It wasn't about disrespecting tradition. It was about pushing the boundaries of what martial arts could be.
Yeah.
He argued that martial arts should be about practicality,
Uh-huh.
about what actually works in real-life situations.
Not just clinging to the rigid forms.
Exactly.
So he was advocating for evolution, not destruction,
Yes.
taking the best of what works and constantly refining, adapting. No wonder he sparked debate.
He did those debates, while sometimes heated, weren't necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
They forced people to re-examine their assumptions,
Yeah.
to consider different perspectives. And ultimately, they contributed to a more open and dynamic martial arts landscape.
Yeah, it's fascinating how he unintentionally became a catalyst for change.
Yeah.
It's like he planted a seed that continues to grow and influence martial arts to this day.
Absolutely. And that evolution is still unfolding.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee's emphasis on adaptability, on being like water,
Yeah.
that's become a core principle in many modern martial arts systems.
That quote always gets me thinking.
What is it?
Be water, my friend.
Yeah.
Such a powerful metaphor.
It is.
And it's not just about fighting. It's about approaching life with that same fluidity, that willingness to adapt and overcome obstacles.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that rigidity can lead to stagnation, while adaptability opens up possibilities for growth and evolution.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. Water can crash against a rock and shatter,
Yeah.
or it can flow around it, finding a new path.
That's a great visual.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying we have a choice in how we respond to challenges. We can resist and break, or we can adapt and find a way forward. And Bruce Lee certainly lived by that philosophy.
He did.
And he wasn't just physically adaptable.
Right.
He was intellectually curious, too.
Yeah.
Like he was always reading, studying, exploring new ideas.
He was a lifelong learner, always expanding his horizons.
Yeah.
And what's truly inspiring is how he integrated his diverse interests into his craft.
Yeah.
His martial arts weren't just about brute force. They were informed by his understanding of philosophy,
Right.
human movement, and different cultures.
It's that fusion of disciplines that makes him so unique.
It does.
It's like he embodied the Renaissance ideal of a well-rounded individual.
Right.
Constantly pushing himself to grow and evolve both physically and intellectually. And to think he accomplished so much in such a tragically short lifespan.
It is a reminder that our time is precious.
Yeah.
And Bruce Lee certainly made the most of his time. He lived with such intensity and purpose, pursuing his passions and leaving an undeniable mark on the world.
And his legacy continues to inspire.
Oh, it does.
Artists, athletes, thinkers across generations.
Absolutely.
But, beyond the achievements and accolades.
Yeah.
What I find truly remarkable is his unwavering self-belief.
Yeah.
That deep conviction that you can achieve anything you set your mind to, even when the odds are stacked against you.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
And that resonates with everyone, no matter what path they're on.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee's life is a testament to the power of the human spirit, the potential that lies within each of us to overcome challenges and create our own destiny.
And it's a message that's more relevant now than ever.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we live in a world that's constantly changing.
Yeah.
A world where adaptability and resilience are essential.
Absolutely. And that's why we're still talking about Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Decades after his passing. His story transcends time and culture because it speaks to our shared human experience.
It's fascinating how someone who dedicated their life to martial arts can have such a profound impact on our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
He challenged us to think differently, to question assumptions, and to push beyond our perceived limitations.
Really?
He reminded us that true strength comes not from rigid adherence to tradition, but from adaptability, from the willingness to learn and grow.
And that's what makes this deep dive so much more than just a history lesson. It's an invitation to explore our own potential, to embrace the philosophy of being like water, and to live our lives with intention and purpose.
Exactly. Bruce Lee's story isn't just about martial arts.
Right.
It's about living a meaningful life, a life where we constantly strive to be the best versions of ourselves.
We've explored his achievements, his challenges, his philosophy.
Yeah.
But there's another aspect of his story that we haven't touched on yet.
What's that?
The controversies.
Oh, yeah.
His innovative approach, especially his critiques of traditional martial arts.
Right.
They sparked strong reactions.
It did.
It wasn't all smooth sailing, was it?
Not at all. Some saw him as a threat to the established order.
Yeah.
A rebel who was disrespecting tradition. Right.
And it's understandable, though.
Yeah.
When you think about it, when someone challenges deeply held beliefs, it can be unsettling.
Especially in a field like martial arts.
Yeah.
Where tradition is so deeply ingrained. So how did Bruce Lee navigate those criticisms? Did he engage in those debates, or did he just focus on his own path?
He definitely engaged, but always with respect and a desire for dialogue.
Yeah.
He understood the value of tradition, but also believed in the need for evolution.
Yeah.
He argued that martial arts should be about practicality.
Right.
About what works in real-life situations, not just about clinging to rigid forms.
So he wasn't about dogma.
No.
He was about effectiveness.
Yes.
Adapting to the situation, flowing like water.
Exactly.
As he would say.
And looking back, it's clear that his vision had a profound impact on the evolution of martial arts.
Yeah.
Many of the ideas that were once considered controversial are now widely accepted and even embraced by traditional practitioners. It's amazing how his influence continues to ripple through the world of martial arts.
It does.
Shaping the way we train and think about combat.
Yeah.
But, his impact goes far beyond the martial arts community.
It does. His message of adaptability, of self-belief, of pushing beyond limitations, that resonates with people from all walks of life.
Absolutely.
It's a message that's as relevant today as it was during his lifetime.
And that's what makes his story so enduring.
It does.
It's a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference, to challenge norms, and to create our own legacy.
It's about embracing the journey, the challenges and the triumphs, and using them as fuel for growth and self-discovery.
And speaking of self-discovery, there's one aspect of Bruce Lee that I think is often overlooked.
What's that?
His vulnerability.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he wasn't afraid to share his struggles, his doubts, his fears.
And that's what makes him so relatable.
It does.
He wasn't some superhuman figure. He was a real person who faced real challenges. And his willingness to be open about those challenges makes his story even more inspiring.
It's like he's saying, hey, I'm not perfect, and that's okay.
Right.
It's the journey that matters.
Yeah.
The striving, the constant pursuit of self-improvement.
And it's that honesty that makes his message so powerful. He wasn't preaching from some pedestal.
Yeah.
He was sharing his own journey.
Yeah, warts and all.
Yeah.
That makes his accomplishments even more impressive.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying, you don't have to be superhuman to achieve great things. You just need to have that unwavering belief in yourself and the courage to keep pushing forward even when things get tough.
Especially important for young people today.
Okay.
Who are facing so much pressure to be perfect.
Right.
Bruce Lee's story is a reminder that it's okay to stumble. It's okay to make mistakes. What matters is that you get back up and keep striving to be the best version of yourself.
It's almost like he was anticipating the challenges of our modern world.
Right.
Like the constant comparison, the pressure to conform, the fear of failure.
Yeah.
He was way ahead of his time in so many ways.
Absolutely. And that brings us to a fascinating question.
Okay.
Inspired by the material you sent in.
Okay.
If Bruce Lee were alive today, what do you think he would say about the state of our world?
Oh, wow. That's a big one.
It is.
What would he say about the divisions, the conflicts, the search for meaning in a world that's changing so rapidly?
It's hard to say for sure, but I imagine he would encourage us to find unity amidst diversity, to embrace change as an opportunity for growth, and to remember that we're all connected regardless of our differences.
It makes you wonder what kind of impact he would have on today's society if he were still with us.
Yeah, he would probably challenge us to be more compassionate, more understanding, more open-minded, to see beyond the surface and recognize our shared humanity.
He might even use his platform to advocate for social justice.
Oh, for sure.
To speak out against inequality and discrimination.
He was never afraid to challenge the status quo. I have no doubt he would continue to use his voice to inspire positive change in the world.
It's inspiring to think about the legacy he would be building today if he had the chance.
It is, and that's what's so incredible about Bruce Lee, even though he's been gone for decades. His ideas, his philosophy, his spirit, they're still alive and well.
Yeah, it's like he planted a seed that continues to grow and blossom, inspiring new generations to embrace his message of self-belief, adaptability, and the pursuit of excellence.
A legacy that will undoubtedly endure for generations to come.
Oh, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From his early days in Hong Kong to his rise to stardom in Hollywood, from his innovative martial arts system to his profound philosophical insights, we've really gotten a glimpse into the multifaceted world of Bruce Lee.
We've explored his triumphs and his challenges, his impact on cinema and martial arts, and most importantly, the enduring power of his message.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Oh,
There's so much more to discover, so much more to learn from his life and work.
I encourage you to continue diving deeper, to explore his writing, to revisit his films, to engage with his philosophy. You'll be amazed by the insights you uncover and the ways in which his story continues to resonate in our modern world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what stands out to you as the most impactful takeaway from our exploration of Bruce Lee?
For me, it's the reminder that we all have the power to overcome adversity, to challenge limitations, and to create our own unique path. Bruce Lee's life is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the boundless potential that resides within each of us.
And let's not forget that powerful metaphor, be water, my friend. May we all strive to embrace adaptability, to flow around obstacles, and to never stop learning and growing.
Wise words to live by.
It's been an absolute pleasure diving deep into the world of Bruce Lee with you today.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to you, our listener, thank you for sharing your passion for Bruce Lee with us. We hope this deep dive has given you new insights and renewed inspiration. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep striving to be the best version of yourself. And remember, be water, my friend.